time of day. The general store on 24 is located on Route 24 in Lewis.
Headlines you can't get through your day without. On Power 101.7.
All right, 6:51. Jess, what you got?
Here we go. So President Biden, he did visit the Port of Baltimore yesterday as he was talking about the $1 trillion plan that was passed by Congress last week. He's set to sign it on Monday. He says that it will provide a solution for the country's supply chain and the inflation issues. However, one will take time to have an effect. He also spoke about the spending that's going to be created for good-paying jobs, and most of which would not require college degrees, stating this is a once-in-a-generation investment.
Okay.
All right, so that's some good news coming there with all these issues that we're having, of course, with inflation. Now,
President Biden also said yesterday on social media that he met with Walmart, Target, FedEx, and UPS, and the store shelves will be stocked for the holidays.
That's great news.
Okay, so yeah,
that is great.
Round of applause for that. That was a big story that was out, and I shared it on Facebook. Man, they carried me over the coals. Let me just tell you.
What were you thinking?
What was
sharing a political post, Bill?
How is that a political post?
What were you thinking? Posting anything about the president?
Everybody wants stock shelves for the holidays.
But you attached his name to it.
He's the one who wrote it.
Okay, but no one wants to hear it right now.
I want to hear about stock shelves for the holidays.
I do too.
Don't you want to hear
I do too. But when you attach the president's name to it.
He's the one who wrote it.
Not just this president.
I know Eddie, but he's the one who wrote it.
You know, people get upset. They don't even understand or probably didn't even read past the first sentence.
My Facebook friends went from 5,000 to 4,999.
Good.
I swear.
Make room for more.
Yeah, good. Good. Make room for the waiting. The waiting.
No, they probably didn't even read past the first sentence. They don't even know anything about the stock shelves. Walmart, the CEOs of Target, FedEx, none of that.
Man, people are mad.
Yeah.
The people getting their bag. Cares.
They really do. All right, so here's an update with the AstroWorld Festival. So it turns out that a security guard was not injected in the neck with a needle at the AstroWorld Music Festival in Houston on the night that this tragedy happened. 8 people were killed, crush of spectators. It was just a terrible scene, but the Houston Police Chief Troy Finner said yesterday that that did not happen, even though Finner himself told reporters that, you know, there was this needle injection. Now, at the time, this is what happened. The guard was down and he was hurt. And then people in the crowd, and there was other security that were there that thought that when, you know, the paramedics showed up that they were reviving him and giving him Narcan and treating them for opiate overdoses. Now it's come out that the guard was actually hit in the head. It was correct information based on different medical staff that was there at the festival. They told the other officers that, and then that officer told somebody else, and that's how this rumor spread.
Okay.
But there was not a needle injection. This guard was not being treated for an overdose. He was actually hit in the head. He was down. Paramedics were assisting to him.
So was nobody injected?
I don't know about anyone at all. This is just this particular security guard was not injected with a needle at this festival. Okay? I don't know about any of the other rumors at this time. I just know about this particular security guard, and the Houston police chief came out to speak on this situation.
Okay.
Also, yesterday here locally, President Biden and Delaware leaders, they said their last goodbyes to former Governor Minner at a memorial service. President Biden was here in town. Delaware leaders, friends, and family, they all gathered to say their final goodbyes to Delaware Governor Ruth Ann. It's an honor to be here today, not only with Governor Carney and the president and our congressional delegates and friends and family, but she was all about humble beginnings, and she left her community here and her church a legacy. And this is wonderful for Ruth Ann Minner, said Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long. Serving as Lieutenant Governor to being elected the first female governor of Delaware, Minner touched a lot of lives, and many were inspired, and she left, a lot in her path. We were colleagues, and I learned a lot from her, and she mentored a lot of people, said Jack Markell,
Oh, Jack Markell.
he was
Man,
there
I
as
haven't heard
well.
that name in a minute. He came here for the grand opening of the Voice Radio Network. Yeah, he's been here a couple times. Ex-governor of Delaware.
I remember.
Yeah, Jack, he was a nice guy.
Yeah. He also says that she doesn't get enough credit nationally for the fact that Delaware was the first state to offer free community college to high school students who worked hard and they stayed out of trouble. And that's true.
She did that, and then the smoking ban.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the smoking ban.
And that's when they were saying, like, ban Ruth Ann, and now everybody, look.
Ban Ruth Ann. That was like a political ad.
And,
Ban Ruth Ann.
President Joe Biden was there yesterday, and I heard part of his speech that he was giving, and he talked about that. He said that's all you would hear was ban Ruth Ann, and it was when she was putting the smoking ban in. And he said she started it because, at one time she was a waitress, and she had people like smoking around her, and she had to help them, and it was pretty much for their health. And then she went and she started this campaign and was on a mission to keep like indoor restaurants and places that were enclosed like that. Like to, look out for everyone's health.
And that's another situation. People were mad.
It was passed.
Yeah.
So, and now it's like a normal thing for us.
All the restaurants are going to go out of business. We ain't going to be able to survive without the smokers.
And remember the bars?
You can't ban smoking. Look, you ban them in the restaurant. You can't ban them in the bars. We're not going to be able to survive.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so she made a lot of positive changes for families, and she put a lot of things in place that made a lasting mark here on the first state.
Wow.
So there you have it. And then
they used to say ban Ruth Ann, and then she banned you.
They did. They did
Wow.
have that slogan out there.
That's unbelievable.
But it worked.
Okay.
It worked. Also, here locally, Governor John Carney, alongside the Delaware Department of Education and Health and Social Services, they did make this announcement yesterday that the state of Delaware will extend the emergency masking requirement in public and private K through 12 schools until February the 8th. So that's the date for Delaware at this time.
For schools.
Yes. Yeah. February 8th.
Something was going on in Pennsylvania. So there is an expiration date on this, guys. It's not permanent.
Yeah, it was set to expire on December the 10th. Is
Okay.
what was in place for Delaware, with an option to extend it for another 60 days. And that's what they decided to do, is go ahead and make that extension until February 8th.
Okay. Well, something's going on in Pennsylvania. I don't know all the details because why would I look it up? But something was going on in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And the health inspector or the head of Department of Health or whatever put in the mask mandate. Well, I guess they got sued.
Oh.
And a judge ruled that they don't have the authority to do that. So I don't know if in Pennsylvania now they're going to rule that you don't have to wear a mask. I don't know if Governor Tom Wolf's going to step in and say, no, I'm going to implement a mask mandate, that he can do that, whether he wants to do that or not, because, the governors are kind of stepping back from doing mandates now. But in Pennsylvania, there was a judge that ruled against and said that the health inspector doesn't have the authority to mandate anything with the schools. So,
All right. Well, Governor Carney says that now with Delaware children from ages kindergarten all the way through high school, they're now eligible for the COVID-19 vaccination. That's going to go a long way in protecting the health of students and educators in the school community statewide. So it's our hope that by February, they'll be able to lift that mask requirement.
Please.
There you go.
By the way, happy Veterans Day.
Yes.
All right. Shout out to all of our
11/11.
veterans.
Thank you.
Thank you to all of our vets. Yesterday was the Marine Corps birthday. So happy birthday to the Marines.
Yes.
And then today, of course, we're honoring all those who have served. You guys gave us our freedom because freedom ain't free. So happy Veterans Day. Thank you guys so much. At 6:59, you want in on the 2021 Honda. We got locations. You can come qualify. Here they are. You can register to win that 2021 Honda.